All right. Hey, everyone. Let's jump right in. Today, we're doing into AI tools for online learning.
Ooh.
We found this really cool piece about it.
Yeah.
10 game-changing AI tools. And, I think as learners, I know all of our listeners are really interested in making learning more efficient and more fun. So I think we're going to find some really cool stuff here.
Definitely.
I've already been playing around with some of these.
Okay.
But I'm really excited to hear what you think about them.
Awesome.
And, maybe some unexpected ways that we can use these tools.
Yeah, well, let's get started with one that I'm sure you've heard of, ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a lot of people, just think of this as like a chatbot or something.
Right.
But it's so much more powerful than that.
Yeah, I actually was a little skeptical at first.
Okay.
But I've been playing with it and I'm blown away.
Right.
It really is like an AI study buddy.
Yeah.
Who's on call, 24/7 to answer any questions or kind of anything I throw at it.
Absolutely. And what I think is so cool about it is that it can actually break down complex topics. So let's say you're learning about something really complicated like quantum physics.
Right.
It can break it down into these little digestible chunks.
Okay.
Almost like a personal tutor.
Wow.
Explaining it to you.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And, it can even generate custom practice problems based on your level.
That's amazing. Especially for those of us who tend to get a little intimidated by some of the more challenging subjects out there.
Right.
Now, it's one thing to understand the material.
Yeah.
But then you have to be able to communicate it.
Of course.
Especially in writing.
For sure.
And so that's where I think a tool like Grammarly comes in.
Oh, yeah. Grammarly is such a great tool, especially when you're writing something important,
right.
Whether it's for school or for work.
Yeah.
Because it goes way beyond just basic spell checking.
Right.
It's like having a real-time editor.
Okay.
That catches your grammar mistakes and helps you to improve your clarity and even your tone.
So it really is like a superpowered proofreader.
Yeah.
Yeah, built right in to your computer.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay. So Grammarly helps us kind of express that knowledge that we're learning.
Right.
But what about actually mastering those core facts and figures?
Yes.
And I'm thinking of Quizlet.
Ah, yeah.
I practically lived on Quizlet when I was in college.
I did too.
But I hear that AI is kind of taking this to a whole new level.
Yes. So Quizlet has always been great, for memorization with the flashcards and the quizzes.
Right.
But now what it can do is personalize that learning.
Okay.
So it uses these AI algorithms that analyze your progress.
So it sees what you're getting right.
Exactly, and what you're getting wrong.
Uh-huh.
And it identifies the areas where you need more practice.
And then it tailors it.
Yeah. It tailors the quizzes to really focus on those areas.
Wow.
So you're not just blindly going through everything. You're really honing in on what you need to work on.
That's a much more efficient way to study, for sure. Okay, so we've got a tool to help us understand.
Yeah.
And a tool to help us write.
Uh-huh.
Now, what about a tool that can actually help to speak?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking LSA Speak.
Okay.
Especially for, learning a new language.
Right.
I sometimes struggle with the pronunciation. This seems like a really cool tool.
Yeah. LSA Speak is fantastic for pronunciation because it uses AI to listen to how you're saying things, pinpoint the areas where you need help, and then it gives you targeted feedback and exercises.
So it's not just about understanding the language.
Okay.
It's about actually being able to speak confidently.
Exactly.
Yeah, and accurately.
Uh-huh.
That's a game changer, I think, especially for people who feel a little self-conscious about their pronunciation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to another tool that a lot of people are talking about these days in the productivity world.
Okay.
And that's Notion.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a lot of people love Notion just for note-taking and organization.
Right.
But they've added AI features.
They have.
That, I think, really turned it into a powerhouse for learners.
It has. And, one of the things that Notion AI can do is actually summarize your notes for you.
Wow.
So it pulls out the key points.
Okay.
And it can even generate ideas or help you to draft content.
It's like having a little research assistant.
Yeah.
Right there, built into your note-taking app.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got note-taking covered.
Yep.
Now let's talk about actually diving deep into a subject.
Okay.
And for that, I'm thinking Khan Academy.
Right.
Which, has always been a great free educational resource.
Yeah.
But they now have Khanmigo.
Yes.
Which sounds like a personalized virtual tutor.
It does. And it's especially good for subjects like math and science.
Okay.
It walks you through the problems step by step.
Oh, wow.
And then if you get stuck, you can actually ask it for help.
So it really is like having a tutor.
It is.
On call.
Yeah.
24/7. I love that. Okay. But sometimes, even with the best tutoring, it can be really hard to take good notes during like an online lecture.
Yeah, that's true.
And, especially when you're trying to keep up with what the speaker is saying.
It's tough.
That's where I think Otter.ai comes in.
Otter.ai is fantastic for that because it transcribes in real time.
Wow.
As the speaker is talking.
So you don't have to worry about...
Right. You can just focus on listening.
Yeah.
And absorbing the information.
Exactly.
And then later you can go back, review the transcript, highlight the key points.
So it's like having a little personal stenographer.
Yeah.
There in your online class.
Exactly.
I love that. Now, of course, sometimes you need more than just notes.
Of course.
And explanations. You actually need to work through problems.
Right.
And, maybe you're stuck and you just can't figure something out. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think Socratic by Google comes in.
Yeah, Socratic is great for those tricky homework problems.
Okay.
Especially in like math and science and those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. What you do is you just take a picture of the problem. Okay.
And then Socratic's AI will actually go out and search the web for, explanations and solutions.
That's so cool.
It is.
It's like a super powered search engine.
Yeah.
Just for homework help.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay. Now, speaking of, sometimes it can be really hard to focus when you're studying.
Absolutely.
There's so many distractions.
Right.
I'm thinking of Brain.fm.
Okay.
Which I'm really intrigued by.
Yeah.
Because this one uses a totally different approach to enhance focus and concentration.
It does.
So tell me about that.
So Brain.fm actually creates music.
Okay.
That's designed based on neuroscience.
Wow.
To help you to focus better.
So it's not just about finding, the right playlist on Spotify.
Right.
This is actually creating the music.
Yeah, it's using AI to create personalized audio tracks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not just trying to simplify learning here.
No.
We're actually trying to optimize our brain.
Exactly.
And, create that optimal learning environment.
I love that. Okay, now speaking of optimizing.
Right.
We have to talk about Duolingo.
Ah, yes.
Which, has been revolutionizing language learning.
Yeah.
It's so popular.
It is.
I love Duolingo. It's like having a gamified language tutor.
It is.
Right in your pocket.
Uh-huh.
But I hear they've added AI features.
Yes, they have.
That have made it even better.
They really have.
So tell me about that.
Well, one of the key things is that it provides these personalized learning paths now.
Okay.
So the AI will actually analyze your progress.
Okay.
See where you're doing well and where you need help. Mm. And then it'll actually tailor the lessons and exercises to help you in those areas where you need the most support.
So it's like having a language tutor.
Yeah.
Who knows exactly what you need.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
And they've done a great job of incorporating gamification.
Yeah.
To keep it fun and engaging.
Yeah, because, sometimes those grammar rules can get a little dry.
They can.
Okay, wow, we've covered a lot of ground here. I am so excited to go and revamp my study habits with all these incredible tools.
Me too.
It's amazing how AI is transforming online learning.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is remarkable to see, how technology is transforming how we learn.
Yeah.
Like having, this whole team of learning assistants
right
at our fingertips.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what I think is so cool is that these tools are accessible to pretty much anyone with an internet connection.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone can have access to world-class education.
And that's a really important point,
Yeah.
It's democratizing education. Right. It's making those resources available to so many people.
Exactly. It's leveling that playing field.
Uh-huh.
Now, I think it's important to acknowledge that some people have expressed concerns about the role of AI.
Of course.
In education.
And those concerns are understandable. You
Yeah.
know, anytime there's a new technology,
Right.
we need to kind of look at it with a critical eye and think about what the impact's going to be.
Right. And I think the key is that it has to be used thoughtfully.
Yes.
And responsibly.
Responsibly, definitely.
And then I think it can be a really powerful force for good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not about replacing teachers or traditional learning methods.
Right.
It's really about finding ways to enhance and supplement.
Yeah. Like, think of it this way.
Yeah.
It can free up teachers' time.
Okay.
So instead of spending, hours grading papers,
right,
they can focus on more personalized instruction.
Yeah.
Or, doing more creative activities with their students.
And for learners, this can really empower them.
Yes.
To become more independent.
Right.
And self-directed in their learning.
Yeah. You can access that support and those resources whenever you need them.
Exactly. And that can be really helpful for people who learn at a different pace.
Of course.
Or have unique learning styles.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as we're kind of wrapping up our deep dive into these AI tools, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
What stood out to you as maybe the most impactful or maybe even surprising application of AI in online learning?
That's a tough one.
It is. There are so many.
There are so many.
I think for me, it's the personalization aspect that is truly revolutionary.
It is.
Tools like Conmigo and Duolingo, which actually adapt to your individual needs and progress.
Right.
It's amazing. I mean, it's like having a personal tutor.
It is.
Who knows exactly how to challenge you and motivate you.
Absolutely. And for students who maybe haven't done well in a traditional classroom setting, this can be really helpful for them to feel like they're being seen and supported.
And it can make learning fun.
It can.
Instead of a chore.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So what about you? Okay. What part of AI in learning are you most excited about?
Well, I'm really fascinated by, AI's potential to help us understand how we learn best. We're just starting to kind of tap into this, the possibility of having these personalized learning experiences that are actually tailored to how our brains are wired. Yeah. We talked about Brain.fm, which uses music to enhance our focus and retention.
Yeah.
But that's just one example. Imagine being able to optimize your whole learning environment.
Wow.
Based on, how your brain works.
Now, that is a thought-provoking idea.
Yeah.
It's like we're unlocking some kind of secret code for our brain to maximize our learning potential.
Exactly.
It's amazing to think, what kind of breakthroughs are just around the corner.
Oh, I know.
As AI continues to evolve and we learn more about the human brain.
It's such an exciting time to be involved in education.
It is.
We have more tools and resources than ever before.
Yeah, this deep dive has been so enlightening.
It has.
I'm really inspired to explore some of these tools myself.
Awesome.
And see how I can integrate them into my own learning.
Yeah.
And, maybe even tackle some of those ambitious goals that I've kind of been putting off.
I love that.
Yeah. So, remember.
Yeah.
Approach these tools with curiosity.
Yes.
And, a willingness to experiment.
Absolutely.
And, find what works for you.
That's the key.
Exactly. Yeah. And embrace, all the possibilities.
For sure.
Of AI-powered learning.
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of possibilities, I have one final thought-provoking question for our listeners.
Okay. I'm ready.
Now that you have access to all these amazing AI tools, what ambitious learning goal will you tackle next?
Ooh.
Is there a subject you've always wanted to master?
Right.
A skill you've been meaning to develop?
Yeah.
Or maybe even a whole new field you'd love to explore?
That's a good question.
I think these tools can really help you make those dreams a reality.
They can.
It's not just about the individual tools.
Right.
It's really about the possibilities they unlock.
Yeah.
The chance to kind of, pursue our passions, expand our knowledge, and really become lifelong learners.
Absolutely.
And who knows, what incredible discoveries and innovations await us as we kind of, embrace this power of AI in education.
I know. It's so exciting.
It is.
To think about.
It is.
What the future holds.
Yeah. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I have learned so much.
Me too.
I'm feeling really inspired.
Good.
And I'm excited for our listeners to go and explore these tools as well.
Yes.
So to all of our listeners out there, keep learning.
Keep exploring.
Keep pushing the limits of what's possible.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.